One of the most prolific people on Broadway right now is Jamie DeRoy. Not only is she a producer, but she does this amazing benefit at least once a year for the Actors Fund. Prior to becoming a producer, she was an amazing performer, and she brings those talents to Jamie DeRoy and Friends. And today we are with Jamie DeRoy. Jamie, how many years have you been doing the Actors Fund benefit?
Well, I can't remember exactly when we turned it into a benefit. I've been doing Jamie DeRoy and Friends for, oh boy, over 30 years. And I don't know, a bunch of years ago, I just kind of decided that this would be just a really good way to raise money, raise awareness. And, during the pandemic, the Actors Fund was so helpful to so many people in show business. And the thing about the Actors Fund is they don't just take care of actors, they take care of everybody in front of in front of the lights and behind the lights, on stage, off stage, backstage. They're amazing. And so listen, between them and Broadway Cares, we've got two amazing organizations that love showbiz, that love the theater.
And help the people that are involved in it when needed.
Exactly. And boy, did we need it in the last year. I mean, I'm not speaking for myself, but I'm speaking for so many friends that were helped and deserve to be helped and will continue to need help. But anyway, so it's been a joy to do things for them. And Joe Benincasa, who is the head of the Actors Fund, there's nobody better than Joe. And they're very, very, very supportive, and they do events throughout the year and wonderful events. So anyway, I just anything I can do to help and bring some more awareness to the organization is my pleasure.
Now, I'd like to start off with your producing credits. What are you producing this year? What are the little dog and pony shows that you have on Broadway this year?
Well, things that have come back are Ain't Too Proud and Tina Turner, the musical. Company is about to open December 9th. Mockingbird came back, and the Lehman trilogy had never opened. It had just a few previews, and then it has opened now, but so that's reopened. And off Broadway, I have Mornings at 7 that's going to run through January 9th, which has got a really stellar cast. And it's been a very, very, very busy time.
Do you have shows?
Everybody.
Do you have shows that are opening after January?
I will, yeah. Mr. Saturday Night will open.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks. After the Lehman trilogy in the Nederlander Theater, that opens in the spring of 2022. And I'm working on other things, but just too soon to actually talk about it.
Now, you've had a lot of amazing people in your benefits. This one coming up, you've got Aarons and Flaherty. Is a lot of the show going to be their music and highlighting them?
Well, we definitely are highlighting them, and there's it is a focus, but it's pretty shared through most of the guests. And I just I've worked with them. I did the revival of Ragtime. I did the revival of Once on This Island. They're friends of mine, and Stephen Flaherty is even from Pittsburgh, although I never knew him there. But it's just, I love to have at least, to have like a songwriter slot in the show, because I'm always helping songwriters. I give an annual songwriting award through the ASCAP Foundation, and that award this year hasn't been officially announced, but it's going to Ron Abel and Chuck Steffen. And I'm really thrilled about that, because They've written some wonderful songs, but one song that they wrote that Lucy Arnaz does called Until Now, if it had been written like 20, 30 years ago, I think it would have become a classic, just a standard hit. But it's a beautiful kind of old fashioned type song, and it's just beautiful. And there's always one song that gravitates me toward a writer, and then and then there's all their whole body of work too. But
What song gravitated you to Aarons and Flaherty?
well, the songs that's going to be done, Christy Altamar is coming, and she's going to be singing Journey to the from the past to from Anastasia, which they wrote, for the original animated film and then brought back in the musical. And also we have Cassandra James, who's going to be singing Come Down from the Tree. So it's, it's just, listen, I could have done a whole show on Aarons and Flaherty, and maybe one day I will, but this one was already kind of in the process. So we're just kind of sharing, everything between all of the guests, because I've got some amazing guests. I mean, Jelani Aladdin has become a real great pal of mine, and I met him after he did Hercules in the park over the summer. He is amazing, but he was also in the original version company of Frozen. And Ali Ewald, just a wonderful, wonderful talent. Maurizio Martinez, who's from On Your Feet. And I don't know if you got to see his show at 54.
I know Maurizio really well.
Oh, he's such a doll, and sings in different languages. And I've been trying to get Donna McKechnie on the show for a really long time, and finally, the stars aligned, and she was able to do it. And she came to rehearse yesterday, and she is so fabulous. Everybody knows her as Cassie, winning the Tony Award for a chorus line, but she is so multi-talented, and she just had a birthday. She looks fantastic. She's such a doll. I can't say enough good things about her.
Now, you've helped a lot of performers with Jamie DeRoy and friends throughout the years. You've introduced people like Christina Bianco. Who was your favorite to introduce and to bring light to?
Oh, it's like, that's like asking you to choose your children. It's like Sophie's Choice.
They all do it.
But over the years, I had Peter Sincotti on as a guest when he was quite young. I asked him the other night, I went to see him at Birdland, and I said, when did you first appear with me? And he thought it was like when he was like 16. And
wow.
He's just grown into this handsome, so talented. I mean, he's a cute kid when I met him, and talented then. And I brought him into the studio. I let him record something. We never really released it because it was just him and piano, but it gave him his first taste of recording, and now he's a seasoned artist, and he's just so terrific. I mean, there's just so many people. Years ago, I did a show at Caroline's, and it was a benefit for the Momentum AIDS Project. And World AIDS Day is coming up on December 1st. I was just at an event for it that Broadway cares through that was just so moving. And that show was in memory of Bob Harrington at the time. And I didn't plan it in advance of that, but we were doing shows for like 2 months there, and once a week. I don't know how I did it, but we did it. And so the last show turned into a benefit for the Momentum AIDS Project and honoring Bob Harrington. And we had all his friends on, and it was quite amazing. One time at Caroline's, Mario Cantone was a guest, and Ron Delsener came and saw him. I've been trying to get Ron Delsener to see me as a solo act for years, never succeeded. And finally, sorry about that. Finally, the stars align, and he comes, and he sees Mario Cantone and he books him into Carnegie Hall to open for Shirley Bassey. It was so exciting. So exciting. I just want to turn this phone off so it doesn't do, oh no.
Electronics, can't live with them, can't live without them.
I know. Oh boy.
In doing your benefits for Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS, and the Actors Fund, has there been a moment that was your most proudest, that you were most proud of?
Again, I just there, you know, every time I do a show, it feels like it was the best show. And so I can never choose. It's really hard because, you know, there's great songwriters that we have showcased. There's great comedians. We had Corey Kahaney listed on the show. She had to drop out for a gig, then she had to cancel out of the gig, and now she's back on. And she's been with me a lot. And Eddie Brill. I mean, honest to God, it is so impossible to choose because they're all so wonderful and everybody is so different. You know, I don't try to have people that are too similar because I really want everybody to just, you know, have their shining moment.
Is there anybody that you wanted to have in your shows, but you haven't had a chance, the stars haven't aligned?
Wow. I'm sure there have, but you know, I can't think of them off the top of my head. I mean, there's people that would love to have that you can never get, you know.
If you could have your
stars.
If you could have your dream person, who would it be?
Oh, I don't even want to say it because it's never going to happen. I mean, you know,
Why not?
everybody's dream person would be Barbara Streisand, and then that's really a dream. I mean, that's not going to happen. I did get to meet her once. Richard J. Alexander introduced me to her at the Film Society tribute when they honored Robert Redford, and she was there because of the way we were. No, I mean, I've had a lot of kind of my dream people, Stokes and various people. I mean, even Donna McKechnie, you know, it's just because it's just taken, you know, so long. And Barry Kleinbort, my director, had said, you know, why don't you ask her again? Maybe the timing's right this time. And it was. And, you know, Ron Abel rehearsed with her yesterday. It's just magical. I love to have people to my apartment and then we find what's best for the show for that moment, you know, two different kinds of songs. And, you know, sometimes they walk in with one idea, but Barry kind of leans them in a direction that they're very happy with it, and they decide, you know, to do that. So you just never know. And this time I'm going to be joined by Rithan on bass and Ray Marchica on drums. And I just think we're going to have a stellar time. And I'm really excited and looking forward to Aaron's and Flaherty. And I love working at Birdland. They are so wonderful to work with, so accommodating, so nice. I'm in the upstairs space, which is big, and it, you know, it has that audience that goes like, not in a semicircle, but it goes around like that. And no matter where you're sitting in that room, it's a good seat. I don't think even the bar seats are good. I've even sat against the wall behind the bar and seen, you know, great shows. Yeah. I mean, you know, listen, sometimes you decide at the last minute you want to go to a show and it's sold out, and that's where you're seated. I never complain about where I sit, never, because I am so grateful to be in the room. And now more than ever, we're all grateful, you know, to be in any room live with performers and an audience. It's so exciting, you know, to be back in a Broadway house or an off-Broadway house, even though we're masked. That's the least of my problems, you know. Let them ask for my vaccination. They can check me, you know, first act, second act, I don't care. I will be very happy to prove that I am safe just because I want to be there. And listen, people, we still have to worry. There's breakout cases, so we still have to be concerned about it. And it's just that now it's kind of like the AIDS crisis. In the beginning of AIDS, if you were diagnosed with AIDS, that was a death sentence. You didn't have a prayer. Now, at least there's cocktails. People have been living with AIDS for many, many years. People that we aren't even particularly aware of that have amazing careers, look great. And now, at least if you've been vaccinated, and I've even been boosted, thank God, if you do get it, at least you shouldn't be dying from it. And in the beginning of the pandemic, that's all we cared about. My goal last year was to stay alive, which was the goal of most people, I would think.
Yes, I agree. How are the tickets going? Should people?
Very, very well. I know all the VIP seats are gone, but there's still, some general admission seats. And like I said, wherever you sit, they're really good seats. I hope we have room for our performers. That's what I always worry about. And you never know if a performer is going to want to watch from the house or they want to hang out backstage. I can never peg it. I never quite get it right.
Well, this is a show I am seriously looking forward to come and writing about.
Oh, thank you.
For those that don't know, it's December 6th at 7 p.m., right?
7 p.m. Yes.
7 p.m. at Birdland. And this is a show not to miss. This lineup is incredible. And
Well,
Jamie,
thank you.
I think this is a wonderful, wonderful event.
Thank you. And I hope to have many more of them. The last two shows I did in 2020 were February 16th at Birdland for the Actors Fund.
That was
Then
my
we did
birthday.
a special fundraiser for primary stages at the Green Room,
Which was
March.
incredible.
March 11th. And we all know what happened on March 12th.
Well, I was at that March 11th, and you and Tyne Daly were the best.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was great fun. And, to think that was like the last time, and that was the last night out for like a year and a half for a lot of people.
I was there. I was at that night. And the next night I was booked for a show that I got canceled out of.
Well, we all got canceled. I was supposed to go to the opening of Six.
I was supposed to see Unknown Soldier that I really wanted to see.
Oh.
And then the next day I was at
Unknown
Six.
Soldier or Soldier's Play?
No, it's Unknown Soldier. It's the oh my God, why can't I think of his name? The guy that wrote Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson.
Oh, okay.
With Margot Seibert, Estelle Parsons. And I had been looking forward to seeing the show.
Oh, cool.
Well,
and now some of these shows couldn't reopen. Luckily, the big ones could.
I have to say thank you for bringing Lehman Trilogy. I honestly think it is one of the best plays of the 20th century.
No, thank you. I'm not going to disagree. And also good news is the Beetlejuice is coming back.
Oh yes, and I'm so glad. I am so glad that they get.
I mean, it's a crowd pleaser, and I think people are very, excited about that. That's in the spring also.
No, I love that show. I thought that show was great. A lot of fun. If you know the movie, you're going to love this show. Love. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Susanna.